look tired. All right. Hi, I am a mess today. This is what happens. This is what happens when you look like me. You go live without saying what you look like. Okay. Put that there. I am all red today. All right. Sharing the link. Copy link. If you are a replay warrior and you don't know where I share the link to, that is my free Discord group. I let them know when I'm live. There we go. All right. Hello, Dale. Hello, Kimmy. Lovely as always. I don't know. You're sweet. I was like, you know, you get an image in your head, and then you pass by a mirror and you're like, whoa, that is not what I thought I looked like today in my head. Yeah, that's what happened to me this morning. About 5 minutes ago. Hello, Alex. Good morning. Hello, Friar. Farah. I'm sorry. Farah. I try to remember. I am so bad with names most of the time. I apologize. I will try to remember. At least you knew I meant you. Thank you. So how is everybody? December 1st. Did everyone like cross their finish line for NaNoWriMo and knock out? I refuse to look in mirrors before coffee, right? Happy to make a live. Oh, me too. Well, you crossed off the finish line, Dale. You're like, I'm done. 5 minutes to 12. Nice. What was your final word count? Never mind. I don't need to know yours. It was like 168,000 or something. Keep it up and you're going to be up there. So far, the person I know who writes the most, what was her, like 3 years ago, she finished November at like 1.7 million words. And I was like, shut up. I think it was 1.7. It might have been 1.6, but honestly, once you hit over the like 200,000 mark in a word count in a single month, it's all the same. 174, 676. Nice. Good job. Took your advice on the guided journal. I almost got it together. Any formatting advice is appreciated. Again, I couldn't find the replay. Yay! Okay, so depending on how you want it formatted and what you're trying to do and what tools are available to you, they're like, it all depends. It comes down to what tools do you have available to you. My favorite tool for creating workbooks and stuff like that is PowerPoint, which sounds old-fashioned and old, and it is, and I don't care. What I like about it is that I can copy an element and go and paste it on multiple slides, and it'll be right where I want it. Oh, you have that. Great. So that's my favorite. Because you can go in and set up your master slides first to have like your footer information and stuff like that. You're going to change the page setup. So you can change in PowerPoint, you can change the page setup similarly to how you could do it in Word. So instead of having a horizontal like presentation orientation, you're just going to switch it and make it 8.5 by 11. I have to think about that for a minute. Actually, I think it's 8.75 by 11.25. I think, when you're accounting for like bleed and margins or something like that, but you have it set up. Then you can go through and it's really easy to like incorporate lines or graphics wherever you want them, things like that. And it's really easy to like copy this slide and then Command D, bam, 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 because you want 5 copies or whatever, and just build it out that way. You can also obviously drag and drop the slides into any order that you want, things like that. So that's my favorite way. Harley, how are you? Thank you so much. So that's my favorite. And if you have that, I would say just go with that. Another thing you can use that's really popular, and it's okay, it doesn't do a bad job, is Canva. Hello, Laura. And I think the free version gives you PDFs. Oh, so with PowerPoint, you finish, you save it, you do save as, right? And you save it as the PPTX. Then you do an export, and it'll export as a PowerPoint. It'll export as a PDF, and the links should work and be live and all of that. Really? They're great. Thank you. Oh, and you have the paid version? Okay, so I know for a fact that the paid version of Canva works for PDFs and stuff. If you are aiming to take your guided journal off of Canva and put it into KDP, you're going to want to make sure you flatten it, because that's how you embed the fonts. Otherwise, when you upload it, KDP like wigs out, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? Like, there's too many layers. I don't like this file. And it gets all weird. So when you go to download it as the PDF off of Canva, make sure you check the box to flatten. It has been a while. How are you? All right, Floof says hi. Say hi. Yeah, she's all grumpy. She's mad at me because I kicked her off my lap earlier, because this cat, I was flipped around because I was watching something on my computer. So I was flipped around. Well, I have boxes under my desk, and she wanted on my lap. So instead of like jumping up on my lap as normal, or going the long way and jumping up on my desk and then jumping down onto my lap as she normally does, no, she decides, I think I can squeeze up between this box and her lap if I stretch my legs out and just like dig my claws into her lap and pull myself up. And it did not work. And neither one of us were happy after that. Okay, could you put your butt down? Just stop circling and put the butt down. Good, I'm doing good. Taking a break from writing. The writer block has been a struggle, and I want to recenter myself with writing before diving back into it. That totally makes sense. Make sure you are refilling your creativity cup. Like, make sure you're getting back into, while you're trying to recenter and all of that, take some time to like watch TV, read some books, go check out an art museum or something if you have them in your area, or online or whatever. Okay, butt down. Okay, yeah, you're purring, but oh my God, could you just settle? But like, make sure you're actually like taking in as much of the art as you can, so that once you feel recentered and re-energized and ready to get back to writing, you're re-inspired too. Ow, 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 ow. You're the best. Okay, no more. Oh, one more writing question. I was able to finish 30,000 words. Now editing. Any advice, recommendations? I'm open to learning and just outsourcing. Okay, so remember to update your nanostats in the Discord. Yes, yes, Alex, thank you. If you participated in our private NaNoWriMo on the Discord, go update your stats in there, so that Alex can send out the certificates and stuff. Farah. Okay, so depending on when you finished, take a break. I've been gaming and streaming on Kick, walking away from Twitch for reasons, mainly because of the pay. It sucks. Oh, yeah. Applied to school and got in just for 2 submissions left. Ow! Could you stop with the claws? You don't need your claws to knead, okay? You don't. You can knead without the claws. I promise. Look, see? See? I don't need my nails to knead on you. See? Yes. Okay. Cat is tearing me up right now. Okay, so you definitely want to break from the book for multiple reasons, not the least of which is authors are usually too close to your books. Ow, ow, ow. Does this needs a nail trim? Yeah, you're supposed to do that. Alex doesn't take breaks. But yes, you should take a break. It helps create distance between you and your story so that you can come at it again with fresh eyes. And it just it allows you to transition away from writing mode and into editing mode, which I know because of the overlapping skill set, a lot of people think that they're just the same, but they're not the same. Okay, writing is like creativity and flow, and yes, there's some plotting and tying things together, but it's really about getting the story out of your head and just getting it onto paper. And editing is about going in and looking at weak areas and trying to strengthen them. And okay, you are moving too much. No, I'm sorry. You gotta go. He's like a toddler, I swear. And so you have to no. Go lay down. There's your bed. There's your bed right there. No. You are spoiled. And so taking a break helps you get out of writing mode and into editing mode. It helps you flip your brain to be ready to not keep adding more words and more scenes, but rather go in and strengthen the scenes and the words that you have. So break is important. The other thing, one thing, like my secret weapon, I guess if you want to call it a secret weapon, one thing I like to do, Cat, I swear to God, stop it. Why is she like this today? Anyway, the other thing I like to do is I go to Lulu, Lulu.com, and I will have my manuscript formatted as 8.5 by 11, 1-inch margins all the way around, chapter breaks about a third of the way down the page. Stop it. And double space, Times New Roman, like just as if I were sending it to an agent, right? And then I'll put it up on lulu.com as print only so that it doesn't go into their bookstore and it doesn't go into global distribution or anything. And I will order a copy usually as a spiral bound, so it's really close to looking like a book, but you can also do it just as like a regular paperback. That usually takes about a week or so. So that serves as my break while I'm waiting for that to come in. And then I read it, and I have my notebook and my Post-its and my pens and everything. I read it away from my computer, because otherwise what ends up happening, not everyone, but most authors, they sit down, even if they've taken a break, they sit down to do the read through. But if they do the read through at their computer, it's too tempting to start making changes right away. And so, but because you've created that distance, you don't remember what you've already explained. You know what I mean? Like you remember the majority of the story, but you don't remember what you've already explained. So you'll go in, you'll start reading, you'll get halfway through chapter 2, and then you'll be like, oh, I should put in here and explain why I did this. And so you'll start working and you'll work for a couple of hours. You'll fix that scene to explain why you did whatever. And then you get to chapter 5, where you realize that the reason you had done it that way in chapter 2 was to do this plot twist and this and that. And it explained. And now you've created a redundancy. And you either have to go back and undo everything you just fixed, or you have to completely rewrite chapter 5 so that you don't sound like you're just repeating yourself. Yeah, it is. It's easier. So, sufficient amount of time away. I usually say 1 week per month. That's not true. That's not what I say at all. I usually say 2 to 3 days per month that it took you to write the book. No. So if it took you 10 months to write the book, then a 20 to 30 day break is usually pretty good. It does depend on, hey, what is the matter? Do you think you can sit still? It does depend on how intensely you were writing that book versus like Alex kind of jumps between multiple books at a time. So she's never fully, completely hyper focused on a singular book for an intense amount of time, for a long period of time, to the point where there is zero distance at all. Versus like if you were kind of like writing on the fringes and like every, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and you had plenty of other projects in between versus you bang this out in a month, type of thing. So the hair of yours is cute. Thank you. I've done that before. Learn the hard way. Do a read through without editing at the same time. Yeah, that read through can save you a lot of work. And the reason I like doing it in book format is, first of all, that's part of the fun. You wrote a book. You want a book. So right away you get it as a book. But you're not putting it out to the world to see just yet. But you get the satisfaction of holding it as a book. And then it's just easier to take notes and highlight things and be like, what was I thinking here? And then like finding all of these areas to fix and tie together and all of this stuff. And it gives you a chance to really refamiliarize yourself with the story, but not as the writer, as the reader. And then you take your notes, you head back to your manuscript on your computer, and you start going through. And that way now you can go in to the editing mode more like a sniper, and you go in with a plan and you go, this is what I'm doing. And it's all right there already written out. No, Alex, you are my Shiro. Alex is amazing. That's the worst part of editing for me. That's why I read or test read on my phone, so I'm more focused on actually task of reading and not editing. This girl makes me know everything. Good. So many books to write. I know. Take notes on paper, go back and tweak what I need. What is the best to order the book from? So for the editing one that I just talked about, I use Lulu. I am sure that you can do something similar with like Ingram Spark or Vervanti. I think you could do it. I used to just print. Like I used to just print all my books, but that's a lot of paper. I think Lulu's the best one, which is why am I even coming up with alternatives. Lulu's the best one because you can just set, you upload the book, you just set the book to print only, like, because it's going to ask you, like, what do you want to do with this? And it's going to give you options. You want to sell the book on your own site. You want to sell your book on the Lulu bookstore. You want to print your book to be able to sell it offhand, or you want to set up the book to go through global distribution, which is like, getting it out to all the other bookstores and stuff. You just select it just to do the print only. No one else ever sees it in the world, but you can you can order a copy of it. It gets delivered to you as a book. You can make your changes. You can upload it again. So after your first few passes of editing, you can go back, upload it again, get it sent to you as another book again, reread it again as many times as you want. And then when you're done, you just retire that one because you can't like change the stuff, right? So you have to retire that one, but then you can go back and republish it as a new book with the correct trim size and everything else. Lulu doesn't like your ISBN. You don't need the ISBN for this part, but why doesn't it like your ISBN? You like my shirt? Why, thank you. How are you, Melody? You make me feel old, Kat. You make my hips do weird things. I haven't seen my story as a book, so definitely want to do that. Oh, it's so... The first time, like, this was one of those tips. I don't even remember where I heard it from. There was a YouTube channel that said, like, weird and awkward editing tips that just work, right? And I was like, okay, let's hear it. And this was one of them. And it was one of those deals where as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, duh. Because I already knew, don't read the book at the computer because you start editing and you waste time. Don't read the book at the computer. Read the book on paper. So I would print, but ink is expensive, paper is expensive. So I would always have to make sure, and it would always jam up and just all this stuff. I always had to make sure I had fresh ink. I would always have to make sure I had, at least 1 or 2 reams of paper. So I was already spending like $80 just to try to print a manuscript up so I could edit. And then I had the brilliant idea of printing it up at like Office Max or Kinko's or whatever I had in town at the time. But even that would still cost me like $30-40 just to have them print it up for me. It was still expensive. It wasn't quite as expensive as buying all the stuff and printing it at home. So when I saw this video and she said, order a copy of your book from Lulu, I went, I am so friggin' dumb. Like, plus it comes bound as a book. So you get the feeling of the book. You get to celebrate a little bit like, look, this is a book. You have the margins where you can still make your notes and you can highlight and Post-its and all of that stuff. But because they're bound, you don't ever have to deal with the absolute travesty that it was when I dropped my manuscript and those papers went everywhere. Trying to wake up, I feel you. Need to work on a happy book. Well, good, because I don't get my ISBN from Bowker. Where did you get your ISBN from, Ember? Thank you for telling me about Lulu. I'm looking it up now. It's so good. Lulu.com. They also have a YouTube channel where they do regular like tips and things like here's how to edit your book and here's how to make an audiobook and blah, blah, blah. They do a pretty good job. I haven't watched a lot of their latest videos now that I'm thinking about it. But like I see the titles and the thumbnails come up and I'm like, oh, that's a good video, ISBN services. Hold on. Are they a like a reseller? I think you asked me about them before, didn't you? Oh, it says right here. It's got, yeah, okay, I can see that. Because it says right here, KDP, Lulu, Amazon Seller Central, Ingram Spark, and Lightning Source, they're all incompatible with their ISBNs. You haven't had any issues with them yet? I remember you asking. I remember trying to look them up and thinking that it was okay depending on what you were trying to do and whatnot. Which at the time you were re-releasing your book, right? Sorry, my memory is not great. But you were trying to re-release your book. And my issue with the ISBN services was that they were not, like, they were legit ISBNs, but it was under someone else's imprint, right? They actually do work with KDP and Ingram Spark. Nice, even better. Okay. When you can, budget, save, buy a bundle from Bowker. It'll save you the money in the long run by buying several at once. And then you can re-release whatever if you're having any trouble. But yeah, if the good news is that if you're using Lulu for print for editing purposes, you don't need an ISBN. You don't have to have one at all. So you can just go without it for the editing trick and whatnot. But Lulu's probably not going to accept your ISBN from there. How do you edit? Okay, so after you've done your read through, so that's the biggest thing, right? You got to do your read through. That allows you to like set up a plan. So you can go like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to do it this way. Then you're going to go in and do what's called a developmental edit first. I was going to ask what I should work on, but then I remembered I was going to do marketing. Yeah, you're going to do marketing. Okay, Kat, I got to move you. I'm sorry. My hip hurts. I know. Go eat. Okay, I got to put this cat on her cat bed. I don't know what's going on, but she's like clinging to me. And I can't do it. Look. Oh, you know what? Here, let me turn my coat inside out. Here you go. Here. Look, we're going to turn this inside out, and then there you go. That smells like me, and it's nice and furry. Okay. Whew. Oh, editing. Okay, so developmental edit is basically you can go about it any way that you want, but one of the easiest ways to do it is now that you've done your whole read through and everything, you've been able to refamiliarize yourself with at least the major milestones and plot points of your book, right? So you know the major points that happen, the major pieces of events and whatever. Grab any plotting formula you like. I prefer Save the Cat, but you can grab any one of them that you like. Whatever you, if you've got, let's see, there's Hero's Journey. If you wrote romance, then you might want Romancing the Beat. If you wrote thriller, then you might want the thriller/horror journey. You might want the heroine's journey. Like, there's so many, right? But grab whichever one you want. Tortia's been egg and cleaning. I don't understand. It's warm out. There's not, well, it is raining, but it's not thundering. Maybe there's static electricity that's bugging her. I don't know. Anyway, so what you're going to do is grab a beat sheet from the plotting formula, from the outlining formula, right? I don't care so much about the percentages because all of these things, once you start using a beat sheet, they're all going to tell you like this should happen within 12% and this should happen within, the first 10% and this should happen at about the 20% mark. I don't care about any of that. But you should have the major milestones. You should have the most important ones. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the beat sheet, and then you're going to, from memory, if you can, go, that's this, that's this, that's this, that's this. And so you can like, okay, catalyst, that's when this happened. Break into two, that was this, and so on and so forth. So you can make sure you have all those elements in order. And if you're missing an important one, you can go in and fix it. Or like in some cases, the catalyst took too long. And so like your catalyst, if you go, a lot of times the catalyst is like an inciting incident. That's the spark. That's the last straw that just broke, that sent the hero off on the journey, right? That's when that happened and they go, well, screw this, I'm gonna go fix it. And it's fast. But sometimes people put up so much buildup to it that the incident itself doesn't feel fast. It feels very long and drawn out. So you want the buildup, you want it to happen, but the incident itself needs to be super fast, quick, sharp, and it's got to shock the readers, so on and so forth. So it gives you a chance to like fix the structure of your book based on these plotting formulas. So you go through, you identify what you have, fill in any gaps that you might need. You've already identified any plot holes, problems with your character arcs, things along those lines. What if the catalyst is the hook? Is that normal, good, bad? It's not the hook. Does a self-help or personal development have a beat sheet? I still like Save the Cat, even for that. As a matter of fact, Farah, if you go to, hang on, everything slowed down. As soon as I said hang on, it all went boo. Okay, if you go to, I don't know if you're going to remember this address, but helpmenaomi.com/memoir writing. Save the Cat has software. Yes, it does. And it's good. I was on their beta team for it. I got to test it out. It's good. Can I comment on here? Hang on. Oh, that's all chat viewing options. Okay. Can I? Ooh. If I add a plus, creator tools, start a poll. I go through this every time, don't I? I go through and I'm like, what can I do? Oh, there's all the filters. Okay. You can add the link. That's okay. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do I add a link? Because so far I don't see how I can. Oh, I wonder if I can do it over here. Hang on. I'm going to figure this out one way or another. Lives. Am I live right now? Hey, I'm live right now. Okay. So if I come view on YouTube, pause it for a minute. I'm gonna all right. Oh, I thought I paused it. Okay. All right. Hopefully that worked. Okay, I'm gonna close this so I don't end up watching myself in a weird loop. Yep, yay, it worked. Okay, so there's the link. That is a memoir writing starter pack that I put up. Now, it's memoirs, not necessarily particularly self-help or personal development, but you can still follow the same plans. It's still going to be memoir-esque, because the thing is with a self-help or with personal development book is it's based on your story. So, yay! Okay, so go, and it's going to show you how I use Save the Cat for memoirs. Like, I translated each of the beats to be for a memoir / personal development. So, go use that. Anyway, once you've got the beats set, you're going to do your developmental edit. You're going to fill in any gaps. You're going to make sure that your character arcs are good. For romance books, you want to make sure that the relationship arc is good and solid. You're going to make sure your themes are all set. You're going to make sure that your plot holes have all been filled, so on and so forth. Take another break. Then you're going to come back and you're going to do a line edit. And a line edit is where you're looking mostly for like tone, tension, voice. That's where you're making sure that each of the characters whose arcs you now know, but now you want to make sure their personality is present and unique. You want to make sure that everyone has a solid stance within the book. And that is when you start looking at this SUL tension. Is it tension enough? Is it tense enough, right? I put in this fight scene. Does it feel like action-packed enough? Does it feel fast enough, or is it too slow? Things like that. A workbook too. What are your thoughts on the only character workbook you'll ever need by TM Holiday? I have heard a lot of great things about it. I have not bought it. I have not looked at it because I have been working on my own character workbook along the same lines as like my other planners and stuff. And so I didn't want to accidentally, like, I'm sure there's going to be similarities because a lot of people who do like character planning and character development and stuff, we use a lot of the same tools and stuff. So I'm sure there's going to be certain similarities in there that we talk about, things like background and history and, you know, psychographics and whatnot. But I haven't actually looked at it for that reason. I didn't want it to taint what I am building for my own. Yeah, she has, she also does world building, which again, I'm so glad. I'm glad she does it. A lot of people love them and they talk about them all the time. They sent me into imposter syndrome because I was like building out my world building. I finished my planners, right? And then remember a couple of years ago on TikTok, people were like, oh, when are you going to have a character planner? When are you going to have a world building planner? And so I started building those only to find out that TM Holiday had them. And I was like, And now I'm still trying to go like, but she probably doesn't build things the way that I build things. And like, I'm still trying to talk my way into them. We all get imposter syndrome. Incredible. Thank you. I'm delayed on the live. The link kicked me off. I'm listening. I watched the replay. I saved the video this time. Yay. And a fantasy one. You got this. I know. I just need to like get over it and like just do what I'm going to do because I do have my own way of doing things. And like when I'm developing a character, I have a lot of different tools that I put into that character that I don't know for sure because I never bought her workbook. I don't know. But I know that when I talk about character development to other people, they never thought to use like the Enneagram and stuff like that. So and mine comes from having a degree in psychotherapy. Oof. I'll get over myself. In the meantime, go grab her workbook. I mean, use the tools that are out there, you know, if you like them. I know that she has really great reviews and people tell me all the time how good they are. Character and world building is from a D&D background. My world building is from D&D background. My character building is more from the psychotherapy, but I also use the psychotherapy and D&D together, so wish listed, nice. Did you see that meme? It said, what did he say? If you're making like winter's here, if you're making maps for like a D&D game or something, make sure you take pictures of like the slush in the middle of the street, and then because then you can outline the shape that the slush made, and there you have an island or whatever. I'm kind of down a rabbit hole again. I got your site up, NaNoWriMo, to make sure I even have the login working correctly, and also have Lulu open. I hope I have Canva open. Had to go out of the live to reset and was delayed by Temu. Temu! I'm sorry. Yeah, it causes sometimes there's just delays, and I don't know, because that happens to me sometimes too if I'm watching someone live, and sometimes I don't even understand how I got delayed. I'll just I'll get up and I'll go get, say, a coffee or something, and I'll sit back down, and I'll notice that I'm delayed, and I'm like, how did that happen? I use Canva for stream overlays. I need to see what it would look like to visualize something for a book cover. The artist in me is sparked. May add writing to my mornings since I stream in the evening. Nice. Nice. You'll catch it later? Okay, great. Does it seem like Temu is taking over the world? I swear they're mimicking Amazon. Like Amazon 20 years ago. Or when was Amazon founded? Does anyone remember? I know I joined Amazon Prime in 2005. So I've been a customer for a very long time. But does anyone know when they actually came out? But they started, and it was all a lot of it was books, and then as the rest of the merchandise came up, it was all undercut. Like if you wanted to save money, you went to Amazon. You could save money at Amazon even over Walmart. And then they sucked the shipping industry right into them and made it a commodity, right? They just made it a feature. But before that, shipping was a whole separate industry with all sorts of separate things. Now it's just a feature. And I see Temu doing the same thing. It feels like 1994. Wow. They're trying to take them down. July 5th, 1994. Okay. Wow. So right after I graduated high school. Temu is either 50-50 due to a lot of people have no issues and treat them like better than an Amazon customer. Then there are a lot of customers who do not get the above treatment. I've heard it can take months to get your stuff, and then when you finally get it, it's wrong or busted or something. Universe seems to be telling me that 24 is year of promo. I'm not fighting it. There you go. Their identity is still... I haven't heard that. Oh my God. Is that Temu though, or is that other things? I don't know. Are they also that's hard? It is Temu. See, I feel like that's hard because I feel like that's hard to prove, because the only way to actually prove that would be if Temu was the absolute only website you used at all. You know what I mean? You get your Temu stuff within a week and a half. Damn, that's good. Amazon is now in the medical industry. I know. I saw an ad for freelancer insurance, and I was like, they kind of remind me of Umbrella. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure they have a hive city somewhere underground. And they're doing experiments with a T virus to make the ultimate soldiers. And it's about to go very, very wrong. You might take a break today and sleep. You deserve a break, Alex. Certain products that are sold are scams and phishing, and they have somehow hacked the system and steal people's info. Wow. Aunt tried it and took months. They make zombies, right? Thankfully, she did not have her identity stolen, but there are blogs of people who have had their identities stolen by Temu. I mean, I always take those stories as like, that's good caution, but I don't know if it's true kind of thing. Like, it could happen, and I'm not going to say it's definitely not true. Very good reminder to stay vigilant and to, like, you know, monitor your spending, monitor your credit cards, make sure that you are not clicking any links anywhere, you know, things along those lines. Because, yeah, you want to make sure that you catch anything like that early so that you can get it fixed and whatnot. But it's also so hard to know for sure, because even a blog, I mean, most of the time that's just anecdotes, and it's a lot of times it could be confirmation bias, where, like, you know, they went and they did something, they went and they clicked an email, then they went to Temu, then their identity got stolen. And, like, it could be any of the other things, or it could have been something that happened a week ago, but because they went to Temu, you know, just for an example, it's good caution. I just don't know 100% that it's true. Need to edit my book, but my computer is dead and I don't trust my work computer. Time to charge your computer, Ember. You use PayPal for Temu? So until their system is a little more edited and up to date, I personally will not use it, but I am interested because they are so much cheaper than Amazon. Yeah. Yeah. It's good to stay cautious and, like, keep up with all those stories, though, and then see. But, like, as you can see, even some of the people here, they don't have any issues. They get things quickly. They've never had anything done. So I don't know. I'll have a commercial pop up, then everything will lag a bit sometimes. Oh, here? Ah. Taking it as a caution. A previous survivor of identity theft. I don't want to go through that again. Oh, I know, right? You know what I use too, while we're talking about identity theft? Although it doesn't really help against that per se, but it does help against all the data farmers, is Incogni. Have you looked into that? Legal Eagle sucked me in, okay? He was doing this whole thing, and I don't even remember. I think I was watching, what video was it? I don't even remember what video it was, to tell you the truth. But he sucked me in with this, you know, these horror stories of all this spam and all this stuff. And he's like, if you're getting phone calls from spammers, then it's because your name is on these information sites and blah, blah, blah. And so Incogni is a place that goes and finds your name on these data farms and sends them a legal request to have it removed, and then handles all the like aftermath after, like when they try to confront you to say, are you sure you want us to remove your stuff? We need you to confirm that you're really you. Like, they handle all that. And I will tell you, it blue screened on you? No. It's in a restart loop. Can you take it to like a Geek Squad? I've heard of it, but I'm nervous to look into IDT protection. Yeah, like I said, this one isn't specifically IDT. This is like public data on a data farm. The people who would sell your data to other people or whatever. So it's like a first step. It by itself is not going to protect you from identity theft. At least I don't think so. But it keeps your names off of data farms. You have an appointment with Geek Squad today. I will keep my fingers crossed that it works for you. That or a Best Buy, they should be able to check your computer. Yeah. Because the returns went against the store sales, so I understand. But it was ridiculous, especially after Christmas. Wait a minute. So much better. I hated spending hours in line returning items in the CSR. Always trying to not be helpful in stores. Oh no. All right, y'all. It is 10 o'clock and Friday, and I got stuff to do so I can wrap up so I can take the weekend off because I need to sleep too. So, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning and asking all your questions and just chatting with me. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Go get all the words written, and I will talk to you on Monday, okay?